and welcome to Clay's Canucks commentary for March the 3rd. This past Monday, a couple of NHL players moved on up to the top team in the league when Vancouver Canucks GM Mike Gillis added depth to our team by trading for forwards Christopher Higgins and Maxim Lapierre. Now the hope is that Higgins will refine his scoring touch and that Lapierre will bring his aggressiveness and brashness to our team, all in a controlled way of course. Now both Higgins and Lapierre are former Habs, which got me thinking about our current Canucks and where they've all moved here from. So I did a bit of research and came up with some interesting facts. But first, a few qualifiers. I used a total of 23 players for my quick study. The 12 anticipated forwards going forward, including Higgins and Lapierre, and I also included Tambellini as the 13th forward. I did not include Hodgson or Rescovich, who were sent down to Manitoba earlier this week. As for the defensemen, I used 8, comprised of our big 6 of Edler, Ehrhoff, Bieksa, Salo, Hamhuis, and Ballard, and I also included Andrew Alberts and Aaron Rome. I didn't include Tanev or Sweat. And for the goalies, I used the 2 that have seen ice time this year, Roberto Luongo and Corey Schneider. Also, I accounted for all of a player's previous teams. Thus, the total number of teams played for will be over 23. So here's a quick look at where the Canucks have come from. 9 of our current players started their pro careers with the team. The Sedins, Kessler, Burrows, Raymond, Hansen, Edler, Bieksa, and Schneider. 4 players were traded to us from Florida: Luongo, Ballard, Higgins, and Glass. 2 last played in San Jose, Malhotra and Ehrhoff, and the rest of the team came from Anaheim, Buffalo, Carolina, Columbus, Detroit, Nashville, the New York Islanders, and Ottawa, all with 1 each. Counting all the players' previous teams, 34 players have played for other teams before the Canucks. Remember what I said about the number being higher than 23. 5 have played for Florida, followed by 3 having played for San Jose, Columbus, and both New Yorks, the Rangers and the Islanders. 2 Canucks have played in Anaheim, and 2 Canucks have played in Montreal, those being Higgins and Lapierre, as I mentioned earlier. And each of the following cities can boast 1 former player on the current Canucks roster: Boston, Buffalo, Calgary, Carolina, Dallas, Detroit, Edmonton, LA, Nashville, Ottawa, Philly, Phoenix, and Pittsburgh. Thus, current Canucks have played for 21 of the NHL's 30 teams. The 9 others are Atlanta, Chicago, Colorado, Minnesota, New Jersey, St. Louis, Tampa Bay, Toronto, and Washington. Now it's interesting to note that 3 of these 9 teams are from the Southeast Division, and 2 are from both the Northwest and Central Divisions. Also interesting, but not surprising, is that there are no ex-Maple Leafs on our current team. You know why? Because we like good players. As well, 2 of the teams, Chicago and Colorado, are arguably our biggest rivals from the past decade, so perhaps we don't want any of those guys around here. I mean, could you imagine Bufflin in the green, blue, and white? Of the forwards, Samuelsson has played for the most teams, 5 before coming to Vancouver. He's been a Shark, Ranger, Penguin, Panther, and Red Wing. Malhotra and Torres are right behind with 4 former teams, along with newly acquired Higgins. That means our third line of Malhotra, Torres, and Hansen has a combined total of 9 previous teams between them. Contrast that to the first line, who are all Vancouver originals. That's probably why they're the first line, and the other 3 guys are the third line. On the blue line, Andrew Alberts leads the race with 3 former teams, while Ballard and Rome have 2. And in net, you likely know that Luongo was on Long Island and in Florida before heading west, while Schneider is a Canuck draft pick. So what's my point? Well, admittedly, I don't really have one. I just got a kick out of putting these numbers together, and I found it interesting to track the careers of our current players. And in an increasingly more complex world of salary cap, contracts, and free agency, it will be interesting to see how these numbers look just a few years down the road. In the meantime, let's hope the Canucks keep moving on up, or more accurately, that they don't move on down in the NHL standings as they look towards the final quarter of the season. God bless, and go Canucks go.